You may be wondering, what's the best way to invest, in individual stocks or with mutual funds? I'm going to be talking about that in this video. I'm Camille Gaines, founder of FinancialWoman.com, and I've personally been investing for over 30 years, and here I share what I've learned during that time frame. Now, what I want to share with you is that a lot of people get stuck with, well, I'm ready to invest. I want to invest in stocks or bonds. So how do I do that? What's better for me? And a lot of people think, oh, I'm ready to get into the stock market, so I really want to invest in, some high-flying particular stock that they've read about. And I would say slow down and first look at what's your objective and how much do you know about all that. So that's the first thing I would say. And I think that it makes sense for people to look at investing in mutual funds, particularly index funds, which I've done some other videos about that you'll want to see, versus buying an individual stock, simply because an investor can choose an individual stock, and that stock can, for so many different reasons, drop in value. It can drop in value related to the overall market. It can drop in value because that sector has dropped for political or economic reasons. There's so many variables. So it's important for investors to diversify when they do decide to invest and not just have all their eggs in one basket, as I say. So one great way to achieve that is by investing with mutual funds. Now, mutual funds can be index funds or they can be actively managed fund, where you have that manager, that expert person choosing stocks for you on your behalf. They've got the backup of a whole research department doing that. Now, having said that, let me mention that actively managed funds don't typically outperform index funds, believe it or not. Now, there's some different times when they do tend to outperform. I won't go into that in this short video because I want to stay focused on what's the best way to invest in stocks individually or in mutual funds. So let me point out some things that I think are important. And I went through a number of years where I really got into analyzing, researching stocks and buying those stocks. I still occasionally do and own some individual stocks now, but I've also bought and sold mutual funds. So this is something I know a bit about. So with individual stocks, if you are going to buy into the stock market with individual stocks, then I think it's really important that you look at yourself and base your investment decisions on your strengths and on your skill set rather than just on something that sounds entertaining or fun. A lot of people think, it's kind of cool to invest in the stock market. And I think it's about making money with your investments and having financial security. So I think a really good question to ask yourself is, do I like to research? Do I like to read online? Do I like to access some really good research tools that are available to analyze and pick over stocks? Do I want to spend hours doing that? So that's the first question, is do I want to research? Do I like that? The second question is, am I good at analysis? So is that something that you really enjoy? Is that one of your strengths? Analysis, because it's a gift. If you are, it's a skill, and if you're not, that's okay. But if you're not good at or interested in analysis, then I don't think it makes sense to buy individual stocks. And then the third question I would say is, are you interested in the financial news? Is this something that you're eagerly following or looking forward to hearing about on a daily or at least a weekly basis? Are you reading something or listening to some sort of podcast or something that's engaging you and you find pleasant to listen to about the financial news and what's happening in the overall markets? And I would say that's important whether or not you invest in individual stocks versus mutual funds. But mutual funds are easier simply because there's not as much involvement in the research, and you don't have to stay on top of your particular sector, for example, that your stock might be in, or some political, as I mentioned, type of scenario that could develop that could affect the stock price of the security that you own. So I would ask those three questions. Now, And that's sort of the starting point. The next thing I would look at is which one is cheaper. Is it cheaper to invest with mutual funds, or is it cheaper to invest yourself? So people assume that it's cheaper to invest in themselves, or make their own investment decisions. But keep in mind that you're going to be paying commissions when you buy and sell securities. So if you are a low volume investor, in other words, you don't do a lot of trades, then you're going to be paying probably the highest rate for commissions, and that's negotiable. It's something you'll want to shop around for, which is not the topic of this particular video. But how active are you going to be, and how much will your commission costs be, and would it be cheaper for you to invest with the mutual fund? It may not be. It just depends on what your strategy is and the type of mutual funds you're considering. The third thing I would suggest you look at is, what about taxes? The biggest expense most of us have. When you are investing on your own, you have more control over influencing your taxes, or having an effect on the taxes that you're paying for your gains in your securities. And of course, if you're in an IRA or another tax deferred account, then this won't be an issue for you. But if you're in a taxable account, this can be a huge issue for you. So that's another consideration in deciding the best way to invest, whether it's in individual securities or whether it's in mutual funds. So that's what I wanted to share with you in this video. Again, I don't manage wealth for others for a fee. I'm a financial coach, and I share what I've learned from over 30 years of investing my own money. And as always, do your own research, understand where your money is before you put it there, and as always, check the price tag before you buy anything, whether that's an investment or a handbag. That's what I wanted to share in this video. If you like this information, be sure to let me know by clicking the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.